Everyone, this is Elvis from Chalk. Wanted to give a quick demo of some of the features we have for AI engineers to do context engineering as well as build things like RAG apps. And so we start with this review search feature class, and I'm going to pass in some query. So this is just going to be a simple string. And what I can do is I can actually make a vector using this embed function, right? So I can import embed from Chalk features. And the nice thing is that we have first class support for vectors, so I can do things like vector addition, etc., and they all work natively with our query planner. And so the cool thing is once I call this function, I just need to tell it this is the feature I want you to embed, this is the provider, this is the model. And if I look at the keyword arguments for this, I can see that I can explicitly pass the model path. And so if I'm self-hosting my own embedding provider within Chalk, I can call that explicitly. I can also specify the resource group if I only want this to run in a particular set of nodes, etc. And so once we do have this vector, we can actually go out to that vector database and then get results back. And so we're going to model these results by saying we have a data frame of this other feature class. And so these features are going to map to the columns we get back from the records in that query. And I can actually open my LanceDB Python resolver, and I can see the results I get back. So I can see that for this Python resolver, we're going to pass in the vector, the query type, and then I can make a call to LanceDB, pass in these keyword arguments. I can get back these columns, and once I get these results back, I just unwrap them and then tell Chalk what features they actually map to. And so I have this review document feature class that we imported. And then I can say, ID maps to ID, title maps to title. And the reason this is important is because if I go back to this feature class, I could, for example, do like title length, right? And have this be an int. And so the cool thing is that like Chalk won't compute this until this is actually returned from the vector database, right? And so that's why it's kind of important that we explicitly map where each feature comes from, because we might compute new features once we get these back, or even do like joins with other data that we query from other data sources, right? And so with regards to RAG, we have this prompt response also feature type. And so I can, for example, run this prompt. This prompt is called RAG. And so in my Chalk dashboard, I can actually specify a prompt there. So if I go over there, I can see like we have this RAG prompt. This is essentially the system message. And then I can reference features directly within my user prompt. And then Chalk will abstract away actually calling that model provider as well. And so we'll see that, research is a string, review results are a data frame, etc. And I can also do projections and pull out, individual columns from this data frame, which is really nice. I can also do this in my code, but the nice thing is that having it in the Chalk dashboard lets me not need to redeploy it. And so if I scroll down to review, I can see that this is what the code version of this might look like. We pass in model, tokens, temperature, etc. We can also do structured output if we need to with these LLM calls. Yeah, but if I actually run a query, so for example, let's say I do, I don't know, like romance or something, I essentially get these results back. So we can see that we're going to pass in this query, and then we're going to get things back like distance, query type, title, etc. Yeah, and so that's some of the things that we have for AI engineers. Hope this helps.